What's going on? Adam here, Top Real Estate Agent. So some big things are happening right now, and with coronavirus, things are changing every single day. So I'm here to make videos to talk about how things can change the housing market, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So today is July 31st, and what that means to most people who are on unemployment, the extra $600 has stopped. And sadly to say, Senate's not even in DC right now, so we don't even know when the $600 is going to kick back in. But why is it so important about the $600, and how does that affect the housing market? There's three types of people. There's renters, landlords, and homeowners. And in California, or in America, our economy is a spending economy. We don't really make too many products anymore. You know, earlier in history we did, and now we kind of subsidize everything overseas because it's a lot cheaper. America is really an economy based on spending money, right? Why do you think the stock market's doing so well? Is because people are getting extra money to spend money, right? That's why, even though we have record numbers of people not having jobs, if they're able to spend money, the economy in America will do well. When renters lose this extra $600, they're gonna have a choice right now. They're gonna have a choice to pay for food with the extra money they're getting on just normal unemployment, or pay their rent. What are they gonna probably pay? They're gonna pay food and those kind of items. Here's the tricky part. What a lot of people aren't realizing is because we're a spending economy, right? The moment you take money out of the system, what do those people stop doing? Spending money. When we take money from all three of these people, they will stop spending money on businesses. With less business, what is that gonna add into? More businesses are gonna have to let people off. They're not gonna be able to hire because they don't have the money, so they're gonna start downsizing, which then kicks more people into unemployment, and then more people who can't pay housing because they're losing that extra $600. With renters right now, if they lose that $600, what does that mean? They probably can't maybe pay their rent, right? And then what are they gonna be forced with? Evictions, right? The problem is, right now in California, we are on a no eviction. Back when the pandemic started, Governor Newsom put out something that stated that until the state of emergency is lifted, no evictions. And courthouses are closed right now anyway, so even if you could do evictions, the line is so backed up, it's not gonna happen anytime soon. So with no eviction, doesn't mean there's no rent, right? So who now does that affect? It affects the landlord. So most landlords aren't these big corporations. Yes, there are people that own apartment complexes, but if you're renting a house right now, most of my clients have a house they bought, one time, they kept it and they bought a new house and now they rent it out. Well, a lot of those people, especially if they're on unemployment, because there are people that own houses right now that are on unemployment, they are unable to cover that mortgage now that you're not paying rent. So what ends up happening, that they start facing foreclosures. You can go into forbearances, right? But if you've already forbearanced your other property, it's a little dicey, and then you can't evict this person. So my advice for renters, if you are losing that $600 right now and you now can't pay your rent to your apartment or to your house or whatever you're renting right now, talk to the landlord and try to figure out, hey, I can give you $200. I can give you $300 a month. Whatever is gonna help. And then as a landlord, you know what? Feel grateful that these people are trying to help you out, because at the end of the day, they know they can't be evicted. And so they could just tell you to pound sand, and then you're gonna go into foreclosure. Luckily in foreclosure, we're not really seeing any of those right now because the courts are closed. It takes a long process, but still, it's a headache that we don't want to. And now homeowners, right? There are people out there I know that own homes that are making a decent amount of money on unemployment and with the extra $600 to be able to pay their mortgage. But now that $600 is gone. So what do? Your only chance now is, if you're a homeowner, is maybe go into forbearances, things like that, miss your payments. Those are the things that now you're facing. So guys, I know that $600 doesn't sound like a lot, but $600 every single week, especially if you have an income of two people that have been laid off, is a lot of money. It's $1,200 a week. We will see an impact in the housing market, maybe not right now, because you can't get evictions, so you're not gonna have a massive houses hit in the market. You can't really have foreclosures, right? So we're not gonna see it, but what this might lead to, if we don't catch back up on that $600, is that next year, when everything kind of catches back up, if these people are being evicted, and because of their eviction, the landlords are going into foreclosures, homeowners never got their jobs back, they're going into foreclosures, we're gonna see an increase in housing hitting the market. Remember, the reason why we're in a massive seller's market right now is not just because inventory is low and its rates are low. Well, rates are gonna probably stay low because the government's gonna wanna keep rates low to keep the economy moving, right? They're not gonna wanna raise interest rates up because the economy's not doing that well, but now we're gonna have an increase in supply of housing. And remember, when someone has a choice to pick from 3 houses, what they can do? lower offer, lower offer, lower offer. See who takes that offer. If I am a renter right now and I can't pay my rent because I'm losing that $600, I'm going to my landlord right now and telling them, hey, listen, I can't make the full payment, I can make a little bit of payment. And as a landlord, I'm going, okay, let's figure this thing out. Let's work together. Hey, if you get a job, can we pay a little bit extra? Because now the landlord has to figure out how they don't miss their mortgage payment. And if I'm a homeowner right now and I can't make my mortgage payment, and I don't want to go into forbearance or anything like that, and I'm not sure what to do, listen, if you're sitting on a lot of equity right now, you know what? As much as it sucks, it's probably the time to sell, right? You want to use your home as an asset and leverage it as a tool. And what that is that you have to then sell that asset to take the money from it to maybe go live for the next 2-3 years. I mean, if some people are sitting on equity of $100,000, you sell that and all of a sudden you're getting a $100,000 check. How long can you last on that $100,000 check? Even if you don't go to work for 2 years, you could probably live on that $100,000 check. Those are the things that I'm thinking about right now and advising my clients on, hey, now that this is out of the market, if I'm a buyer, right? If I'm a buyer right now, I'm thinking, okay, less people are gonna be in the market because maybe their businesses are gonna lose more employees, right? So if I'm secure in my job, I'm thinking, okay, if this $600 doesn't come back, that might pull more buyers out of the market because more people might go on unemployment. If I'm a landlord, I'm following up with my tenant a lot, making sure that they're okay, right? Kind of playing nice guy, hey, I'm looking out for you, hey, do you need anything, things like that. And then if I'm a homeowner, if I'm in a position where I have a lot of equity and I have no job and I don't see the $600 coming back anymore and I'm afraid of going into foreclosure and missing payments, if I have equity, I'm thinking about putting my house on the market, selling it, pulling that cash out, even if you, like I said, pulling out $100,000, because if all of a sudden we see a massive amount of houses hit in the market, your equity is gonna go down. Sad to say, we're in a perfect time if you're in a bad place to be saved. I know this is kind of crazy to think about, and I just want you guys to know what is gonna affect the housing market. It's the same thing always. Rates go up, prices go down. If supply goes up, prices go down. Just remember that. Hopefully this video helps. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. And remember, we're always here to help you.